Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brian Mastry.
And I'm Aaron Sullivan. Let's get right into our top 6 headlines at 6.
I'm Brenna Kiefner at the Douglas County District Courthouse, where 2 brothers were here for their sentencing hearings in the traffic death of an Omaha Uber driver. We'll give you an update from the emotional day in court.
And with the government shutdown over, SNAP benefits are once again flowing. Nebraskans received partial benefits today, and Iowans will get full benefits tomorrow. Department of Agriculture officials say recipients nationwide will start receiving full benefits by Monday.
We're getting a first look inside Omaha's new Central Library at 72nd and Dodge. No doubt probably driven by it. Tonight's event marks the end of construction. Staff will spend the next few months bringing in books, technology, as well as furniture before the library opens to the public next spring.
Breaking new details tonight after 2 people were shot at a Bellevue home this morning. Bellevue police say 64-year-old Mary Christensen shot her brother and her landlord, who is also her roommate. Mary's brother was shot in the stomach, and police say he is in critical condition. Her landlord and roommate was shot in the arm, and he is expected to survive.
The Trump administration taking legal action to stop California's effort to redraw its congressional maps ahead of next year's midterms. New maps would make 5 House seats easier for Democrats to win. California voters approved the plan at the ballot box last week.
New at 6, a provision in the spending bill that brought an end to the government shutdown will reshape the hemp industry nationwide. A restriction included in that bill places a cap on all THC products, including gummies, vapes, and drinks. We'll explain the impact on sellers locally later on in the broadcast.
Hey, forget the jacket tomorrow.